Thank you very much for this invitation. I'm going to talk about tips and tricks of IUI. Majority of the time, it is clinicians find that they do IUI, but they don't get results. And this patient goes to IVF center and they become pregnant with IUI. So I think these are the indications that we should understand. The steps involved are very simple: monitoring, preparation and insemination. This is something that is very important. How many IUIs have been done? What was the drugs used in IUI? According to me, oral ovulations should not be used in IUI cycle. IUI should be done only and only when you use HMG, because that gives you the best possible results. Clomiphene or plus gonadotropin. When was it done? Was the ovulation documented any time in the previous report? What was the trigger? Was there OHSS? How much was the ET? Whether single IUI or double IUI? Was the IUI done, processing done in the same laboratory, or was done in the other pathology laboratory and bought the sample here? How much should be ejaculatory abstinence? According to me, male in female ovulation induction doesn't exist till the time you need a sample. I think something should be done. Should be told to have intercourse every day or alternate day at least, because abstinence less than 2 days has shown to have very good success result. Which catheter to be used? Actually, soft catheters are the best. These are some of the lesions which can happen. You may not be able to come to know when you use a stiff catheter or a hard catheter, and these lesions will cause failure of your IUI cycle. So softer catheters are the best catheters. How do you do routine IUI? Routine IUI is done in according to ICMR, one in the OPD basis on a regular examination table with Cuscos. There is no need to change the patient, take him to the operation theatre. There is no need to give TT or Buscopan or atropine or antibiotics before the procedure. You put in a Cusco speculum, visualize the cervix, take the sample, check the name of the patient, ask the patient the name, husband's name, and then you inject. Go inside, negotiate the internal loss. Beyond the internal loss, you just go 1.5 centimeter, and there you inject the sample over a period of 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute is something which is very important, and then only 10 minutes bed rest is required. There is no role of prolonged bed rest, dietary restriction, head low, head high, nothing, and should be encouraged to do a sexual intercourse, because that helps in increasing the pregnancy. Regurgitation of samples. This, in an open tube, regurgitation happens only and only when you want to go and attend some Foxy meeting, or you want to do a cesarean section immediately after this. So you come and inject the sample hurriedly. Otherwise, or the patient is extremely anxious, and because of which the tubes go in spasm, or you have taken volume about 1 ml, the amount should be injected inside should be not more than 0.3 ml, and it should be 2 centimeter from the fundus, which because we don't do ultrasound, 1.5 centimeter beyond internal loss is something which is very, very important. So difficult IUI, the catheters are soft. So what happens when you go towards the internal loss, the catheter starts moving the direction. Now what to do? This is very simple. Hold it with the Alice and give a traction, and then negotiate. If you still cannot negotiate, then you have to use a smaller dilator, do a railroading, and then pass the catheter. Most important, if it's acutely anteverted uterus, before your Maushi tells the patient go and pass urine, please tell her don't pass urine, because partially full bladder will help you to do the IUI very easily. And a retroverted uterus too full of bladder will also cause a problem, and hence should be told to not to hold the urine for too long. This is what I was telling you, the dilator which I use in my practice. Most important, if you had a difficult traumatic IUI, write down on the piece of paper of your OPD. In the next cycle, on the second or the third day when she comes, under vocal anesthesia, in your OPD, dilate the cervix up to 6. and know the direction. So you know it is antiverted and towards right, antiverted and towards right, antiverted and towards right. So write it down, write it down, write it down. On the day of the IUI, look at your notes and then do the IUI. That is going to give you results. Ultrasound guided IUI, no role. One should know about semen processing. Total motile sperm count is what is more important. It's calculated by count volume divided by percentage motility. It should be at least post-wash count should be at least 5 million sperm counts. When you do an IUI cycle, the first 3 cycles of IUI, when you use gonadotropins, are going to give you the best result. After 3 cycles of IUI, the results are going to plateau. That is what you must understand. Timing of the IUI is very important. Somebody do it after 24 hours, somebody do it after 36 hours. In my practice, I do it after documentation of ovulation. I give dual trigger SCG plus Lupride. With, well, very recently it is found to show good result. Double IUI to be done in 1 cycle only and only in cases of male infertility, that too under experimental model. Otherwise, there is no role of doing double IUI. Single well-documented IUI gives the best results. So I told you about single IUI. Then how much should be your stimulation? The stimulation should be 2 to 3 follicles. It should not be more than 3 follicles. If you have more than 3 follicles, you must counsel the patient that there is a risk of hyperstimulation, and more important is multiple pregnancy. Now you cannot take a decision on the behalf of patient that it's okay to have multiple pregnancy. If the patient says, I do not want to have a multiple pregnancy, you should not give the trigger. Try and remember, you don't give the trigger. Today we have one monster at home, one monster. Imagine 2 monsters at the same time. Third one is being your husband. Understood? So it is not possible. Look at anybody who has twins, meet them after 5 years, they say our life has become finished. Okay, so do not try and play around multiple pregnancy, because IVF consultants have reduced the number of embryo being transferred to number 1 and 2 embryos. Hence, it's only the IUI cycle which will now give rise to multiple pregnancy. So your stimulation should be with HMG, or letrozole and HMG is the best thing to do. So you give letrozole day 2 to day 6, day 7 onwards you add 75 IU HMG and monitor the cycle. If you monitor the cycle, if you get 1 follicle at the end of the cycle, you give SCG, but you know that this dose could increase the threshold of FSH for 1 follicle. So next time if you want 2 to 3 follicles, you have to step up the dose to 100 or maybe 150 IU. This is how you learn infertility. Only and only you are your own teacher. Nobody else can teach you protocol. By knowing the protocol, you will not understand anything. By practicing the protocol, you will understand, and by doing your own ultrasound. I think मैं बाहर जाऊँ उनको बताने को जरा. हाँ. I am getting disturbed, sir. So I think that is what one should understand. Stop doing IUIs for clomiphene citrate or letrozole groups. Combine letrozole and clomiphene with HMG. That is the way forward. And I think time has come for gynecologists to move ahead for doing this kind of IUIs. 10 to 15 minute rest. I think it's something very important. I feel that patients have been told to take complete bed rest. Patients are not given vaginal progesterone, are given oral progesterone. Now, I am nothing against oral progesterone. Oral progesterone will give you high value of serum level of progesterone. Uterine levels very low. Vaginal progesterone is the way forward. But in private practice, normally for IUI, we don't use it. Another thing which I think is you change something in your cycle. Say in 1 cycle, you have given clomiphene citrate, HMG, you could 3 follicles, you've given say 200 milligram vaginal progesterone and she's not conceived. Repeating the same cycle again next cycle, how do you expect a miracle to happen? You cannot. This is not worked. You understood? So you need to change. Something needs to be changed. Now that is your decision. Majority of the time till ovulation, everything is going well. It's only after ovulation, whether it is getting fertilized or implantation. And I think luteal phase is the way forward. One has to do something about luteal phase, how you can manage beautifully. Another way is looking at donor insemination. Many times we use samples from unknown sources and relatives, which should not be allowed. No relative can donate the sample. If the sample is bought from home, that has to be written on the paper. Donor sample should be bought from the donor bank. And HIV, HBsAg, HCV has to be done every 3 months to 6 months. Consent form has to be stored at least for 20 years from now. So just for that 2,000 rupees you're doing IUI, whether you want to save those consent form is your choice. I think it's better to refer the donor insemination to somebody else. IUI failures, this is your answer. Poor responder or hyper responder. Luteinized unruptured follicles. Your endometrium was thin. Many people tell me the endometrium is thin. First cycle is your best cycle. It's an ovulatory cycle. Then on the day of the ovulation in a natural cycle, if your follicle, when it's 18 to 20, if your ET is less than 7, means the problem is in the target organ. Leave everything, start evaluating endometrium. There is no point in giving ovulation induction and on top of it clomiphene citrate, you will destroy the chance. If it's anovulatory, you give estrogen to her, 2 mg TDS, then followed by 4 mg TDS, see the ET. The ET is more than 9 millimeter, then only proceed for IUI cycle. One of the very beautiful paper in 2007 talked about the stress induced in a patient of IUI, and they found 71% of the patients were actually stressed on the day of the IUI, because the IUI was collection in the bathroom, sample was processed somewhere else, bought somewhere else, and IUI was done by somebody else. Okay? And no clear-cut instructions given. So they have a very bad result. So I think there's something we should find. You should know when to stop. If the patient is bored of looking at you and you are bored at looking at the patient, tell her to go on vacation to her mama or uncle. Some God will work there and she'll become pregnant. Tell her that we're wonderful. This is something we should know how to manage, because every time Mrs. Patil comes out of period, we are stressed. And the money offered to this is also very important. And what ultimately end is to make a happy couples, happy families out of couple. Thank you very much for patience.
Thank you, Kedar.